What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former undisputed heavyweight world champion, former undisputed cruiserweight world champion, legendary, iconic boxer, Evander, the real deal Holyfield, discusses the possibility of a trilogy match between himself and legendary, former undisputed world champion, superstar, iconic boxer, Iron Mike Tyson. They have had a rivalry and a history for a long time, since the 80s, right? And there was buildup prior to Iron Mike Tyson losing his legendary fight and showdown with James Buster Douglas, that everybody had Iron Mike Tyson the heavy favorite, and it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, upset in the history of the sport of boxing, right? It was pegged that the mega super showdown between Evander Holyfield and Iron Mike Tyson was on the verge immediately following that James Buster Douglas fight. But we know the history. Iron Mike Tyson was knocked out in that fight against James Buster Douglas, and we saw Evander Holyfield then go on to fight James Buster Douglas and beat James Buster Douglas and become undisputed in his journey, right? But Evander Holyfield was ringside when Mike Tyson lost to James Buster Douglas. With that said, they have a long history. Then we have the infamous rematch, the second fight, because the first fight, Evander Holyfield knocked out Mike Tyson, right? And then we had the infamous rematch in which we saw Iron Mike Tyson go down in history for biting off Evander Holyfield's ear, right? In a boxing match, right? He made history. He's forever going to be known for that, right? Now, Mike Tyson has a lot of things he's going to be forever remembered for, but that is going to be at the very, very top of the list, that ear biting situation. With that said, Mike Tyson was disqualified in that fight, and then they haven't graced the square circle together since then. But Evander Holyfield says that he wants to grace the square circle with Iron Mike Tyson, seeing as though Iron Mike Tyson at the age of 54 years old is starting to get in shape, looking to make a comeback. Evander Holyfield got wind of this. He caught wind of this, and he started getting in shape because he wants to make a comeback, because he said that his right ear, needs his get back in the trilogy match, right? So with that said, he discussed why he was so always successful against Mike Tyson, and he pretty much said that if he fought Mike Tyson 9 out of 10 times, he would beat Mike Tyson. He said that Mike Tyson, he used to watch Mike Tyson train back in the day, and he said that when he watched him, he said, man, this dude has everything. He has the power, he has the speed, he has the quickness, he has the ring generalship, he has it all. He said, but the one thing that I do have over Iron Mike Tyson is the fact that I have more skills than Iron Mike Tyson. He said, I always had more skills than Iron Mike Tyson. He said, the thing is that he said he always had more power and he always came off as ferocious. He said, but, you know, what gets overlooked is the fact that his upbringing was very similar to Mike Tyson's upbringing. He said it's just the fact that I had a lot of respect for my mother, and my mother always used to tell me, if you use profanity, then I'm gonna have to deal with you. So he said that due to the fact that he had a lot of respect for his mother, he said, and a lot of that you know, he wanted to avoid having conversation with his mother. He said that, you know, he respected her, so he never used profanity. He said, so it came across as Iron Mike Tyson was always more ferocious or always a tougher guy than me. He said that was never the case. We both had the same similar upbringing. You know, we both had struggles as we was kids. He said, and I was just as tough as Iron Mike Tyson, but because of my tone and the lack of profanity, you know, people overlooked me, and they just thought that Iron Mike Tyson was going to knock me out because he definitely had the edge in power. He said, I never had as much power as Iron Mike Tyson did, or has. He says, but I always had more skills than him, right? And I'm slightly taller than him, so I had the edge in that, and I don't fear him, right? So he said that due to all of those things, all those intangibles, that give me an advantage. He said because he definitely has skills, he definitely has speed, and he definitely has power and ferociousness, but I'm just as ferocious and as tough as him. He says, I have speed, not as much speed as he does. I don't have much power that he does, but my skill set is higher than his, and it offsets that of what he does, right? So that's why I was able to frustrate him and beat him and knock him out the first time. He said, and I was getting the better of him in the second fight. He got frustrated and bit my ear. He said that it's a fight on the inside. You know, he always complained about me using my head and headbutting him. He said, but that was just never the case. It's just that he's shorter than me. And for me to bend down on the inside, he said not too many guys want to mix it up with him on the inside. And due to the fact that his stature is shorter than mine, and I don't mind mixing it up with him on the inside, it caused us to have head collisions of heads, right? Our heads collided often, and he got frustrated with that. He said most guys backed out from inside fighting with Mike Tyson because he was so quick, so short in stature, and so ferocious. You didn't want to trade with him on the inside. So he said a lot of guys, most guys are taller than him. Everybody he faces are taller than him, so they don't look to mix it up on the inside. They want to keep their distance. He said, but I've always been just as tough as he is or tougher. So he said, and it's going to show. He said, I definitely want this trilogy match. He said that, you know, I don't want to say that he's overrated, but he definitely got a reputation that he was a tougher guy than me, and that he was more ferocious than me. You know, he said, but that's never been the case. That's why I was able to beat him and knock him out the first fight, because I'm not going to back down from him. I have the same upbringing that he does. I'm just as tough as he is, and I went through just as much struggles as he did. Evander Holyfield is older than Mike Tyson. He's 57 years old. Mike Tyson just recently, last week, turned 54 years old. Mike Tyson is in great shape. He's training like a warrior, right? And Evander Holyfield, as soon as he saw, I find this funny, right? That as soon as he saw Mike Tyson getting back in shape, as soon as he saw Mike Tyson, being mentioned and making a comeback, even if it's exhibition, and he said he might want to make a comeback and, compete in a ranking system and become a world champion once again, Evander Holyfield immediately said, look, it's my time. That's my time. So they always going to be pegged together. And like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, like Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali, right? They're always going to be pegged together, right? And so with that said, I feel like Evander Holyfield always has a chip on his shoulder because when he beat James Buster Douglas, most people perceived him as he never really he never was truly the world champion until he beat Mike Tyson. And then before he got the chance to beat Mike Tyson, he lost to Riddick Big Daddy Bo. So he never got his opportunity at what some would call the height of his career, when he was undefeated and such, but he did beat Mike Tyson. And then the stigma came that, well, Mike Tyson wasn't the same fighter. If this was the fight, 5 years ago, Mike Tyson would have beat Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield caught Mike Tyson when he was no longer the same Iron Mike Tyson. He wasn't the baddest man on the planet. He lost a step. He didn't have the same interests. He went to jail, so on and so forth. There were tons of excuses for why Evander Holyfield was successful against Mike Tyson. And I feel like Evander Holyfield cannot get rid of that niche, right? He just feels the need to want to defeat Mike Tyson, just to put hands on Mike Tyson. So, I think that chip on his shoulder, that boulder named Iron Mike Tyson on Evander Holyfield's shoulder, is always going to propel him over Mike Tyson, right? In competition. Now, see, popularity-wise, even though he beat Mike Tyson twice, he never gets the same credit that Mike Tyson gets, right? Mike Tyson make a comeback, and people think that Mike Tyson could beat the upper echelon of the current heavyweight division at 54 years of age, coming off a 15-year layoff. Where Evander Holyfield defeated Mike Tyson, and if Evander Holyfield talked about coming back today's time and competing with today's heavyweights, nobody would give Evander Holyfield much of an opportunity. So Mike Tyson's myth, the legend of Mike Tyson, just overshadows everything that Evander Holyfield has accomplished. Now, hardcore boxing fans understand Evander Holyfield. It doesn't matter in what time and era he would give Mike Tyson tons and tons of problems. Just like he said, his upbringing was just as tough as Mike Tyson's. His struggle was just as tough as Mike Tyson's, and he was just as skilled and ferocious as Mike Tyson. But he doesn't get that credit. After Buster Douglas, people felt like Mike Tyson lost a step. He didn't have the interest. Then he went to jail. He went to prison. And when he came out and Evander Holyfield finally beat him, he had lost to Riddick Bowe. People said that as soon as Evander Holyfield fought, coming from cruiserweight, didn't give him much of a chance. He was a small heavyweight. And ironically, he's bigger than Mike Tyson, but, you know, he was considered a small heavyweight, you know, and people felt like as soon as he fought a real young, athletic, big heavyweight in Riddick Big Daddy Bowe, he lost the fight. So people always said that, you know, James Buster Douglas didn't come in, you know, he was a one-hit wonder. So when Evander Holyfield beat him, you know, he was never anybody. He got lucky one night, beat Mike Tyson. So nobody gave Evander Holyfield credit for beating James Buster Douglas. So he just never got his just dues. And I think that boulder, that chip on his shoulder named Iron Mike Tyson is always going to motivate him. So he wants the trilogy match, even at this advanced age. Even, like I said, as soon as he saw the fact that Iron Mike Tyson got off the couch, got in shape, and was talking about making mention of a comeback, Evander Holyfield got off the couch, is getting in shape, and he's talking about he wants to be on a collision course with Mike Tyson. So let's see how this all plays out. Mike Tyson did entertain the possibility of facing Evander Holyfield in the trilogy match. He said that it would be good for the people. Evander Holyfield made mention in one of these documentaries discussing him and Mike Tyson. He said that Mike Tyson, you could see it in his eyes after the first fight, he knew deep down he could never beat me. When Mike Tyson was asked about a trilogy match in his comeback, he said, yeah, sure, why not? It would be great for exhibition. But Evander Holyfield wants a real boxing match with Mike Tyson. So I think Mike Tyson may be a slightly bit hesitant to compete with Evander Holyfield. You know, I think he would much rather go the route of, you know, some other guys that, you know, expectations won't be as so high. See, if he compete against Evander Holyfield, who's older than him, you know, it might just you know, put a little notch in Mike Tyson's brain that may, you know, make Mike Tyson feel like in the back of his mind subconsciously, I could never beat this guy, not even in my prime, right? When guys talk about before Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson would have knocked out Evander Holyfield early because he was just too small. You know, he fights him in the trilogy. So just some guys that just have your number. And I think Evander Holyfield is that guy. But let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram on Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.